Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price today as we are starting to see Bitcoin test 34,788, but we've yet to break above this level, indicating that it truly is a very important level that we need to get above if we want to assume any further upside. We have the 50-day moving average, the monthly open, and the important $34,788 level here. And notice how futures markets have opened today. The DXY is starting to push down just a slight bit, but we are still above this major level. We're going to start seeing institutions place their bets, and that's going to be important for us to determine what side of the coin we want to be on as we head into this week. We'll also take a look at altcoins like Ethereum heading towards the monthly open at $2,300 inside of a range that could potentially take us towards the $3,400 level. This is a major puzzle piece, not just for Ethereum, but for every other altcoin as well. So we're going to look at the revolving parts of the cryptocurrency market, like the total market cap, others dominance, and Bitcoin dominance, because the weekly candles are resetting today. And so this is going to be a big deal for us to determine where we're potentially going to see the next move and where the volume is going to come in as we start to see the new weekly candle open. You guys are watching the Snipers channel on a Sunday. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm so that we can hit 100,000 snipers on this channel. We're almost at 50,000. My name is Naeem Al-Abeidi, as always. Let's dive into this Bitcoin analysis on the weekly chart. Right now, we have a very nice weekly candle with a bullish tail. Nothing to go home and tell grandma about, but we do have a tail here, and that's a good thing. The body of the candle seems to be maintaining itself at the 50-week moving average, and we do have the majority of the body filled right now, and that's a good thing to end the week because that could potentially lead us into another bullish continuation candle to potentially test this $40,000 level, and that's going to be on the table if we get above 34,788. Not only would that be on the table, but as we talked about yesterday, the 20-week moving average, which is home base, would also be on the table if we cross above 34,788, and this would be home base 44,800. If we start to get above the 20-week moving average, now we're back in a bull rally, right? Because home base is a great indication of whether we're in a bullish or bearish trend, and that's the 20-week moving average. So far, we've been below it since the 10th of May. Now, let's go into the smaller time frames because we know everything morphs from the smaller time frames into the larger time frames. Since the Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, and Cathie Wood's B-word event, we've seen 5 green daily candles, and this has been a very positive catalyst for Bitcoin because it's finally allowed us to test the 50-day moving average, which is an operation that the bulls struggled to complete since the 19th of May because we never got to test this level, but now we finally got to test the 50-day moving average so we can start assuming the early signs of a rescue operation as we talked about yesterday. Now, it's not a coincidence that today's daily candle high is at 34,800 because we know that's the major level, right? 34,788 to be exact, and that's literally within a 0.1 or 2% margin. That's because our levels in the Snipers channel are extremely important for every trade we make, for every analysis that we do. The numbers are key, and so we know where the volume is at, and that's also why the monthly open is here showing confluence with the 50-day moving average. So the print is still clear as what it was yesterday. If we can get above 34,788, that's the confirmation, hourly and 4-hour candles to be specific, that we're going to see Bitcoin potentially come and test the 20-week moving average, or we also have confluence with the 200-day moving average at 44,800. And the reason I say that is because since there's so much confluence here with major levels that there's pressure, if we get above here, that pressure will allow the momentum to kick in for Bitcoin. And so, of course, the channel resistance is going to be at 40,000. That's going to be the first place that we want to monitor. We stay below 40,000. We're still in a consolidation. We'll talk about that if we get there because we could still potentially see some sideways price action even if we get to 40,000. But that, for now, we will throw to the side because it obviously hasn't happened yet. I want to be your umpire and talk about what the price action is doing today because that's really what matters. Now, to the downside, we have this weekly open at 31,800. And I talked about this 3 days ago. If we're able to stay above this $31,800 level, it's really at that $32,000 level, then we could see a garden variety market pullback at this weekly open through the start of this week. And guess what? We'd start forming this potential inverse head and shoulder pattern. So even if Bitcoin isn't able to get about 34,788 right now because it's the 50-day moving average, we could still assume that price action up until 31,800, which is about 8% to the downside, would still keep Bitcoin in a bullish trend as long as the volume continues to stay light, because the path of least resistance when there's low volume is always sideways to a little bit higher. That's why this inverse head and shoulder pattern works very well as a potential market structure that we want to watch if we don't see the $34,788 level break, because of course it's the weekend still. That's when the markets are the most manipulated, so we have to take everything with a grain of salt. And we're also going to be resetting all of our previous weekly opens today. The weekly candle closes in an hour, so that's going to be in green tomorrow, but I'll update you guys with that as we move on with our analysis. And so that's what I'm watching for Bitcoin right now. 34,788 and this $31,800 level is the range that we're in, and we could stay in this range, play sideways price action, and we're still potentially in a bullish trend, right? This is why we've been monitoring a lot of altcoins, because when Bitcoin consolidates, altcoins tend to outperform. And so when we look at Ethereum, which is the leading altcoin because it's the largest, we are seeing more price action to the upside than Bitcoin. We'll look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart in a sec, but we're above 1980, which is great because that puts us in a range to potentially test 3,500 US dollars. So if Bitcoin does start to cross above 34,780, I think that's the only way Ethereum's going to get above this monthly open. That puts Ethereum as the stronger asset in my opinion, because that means it's going to pop from that $2,300 level to $3,500, and that's a 50% potential upside, and that shows a lot of confluence with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart getting above 65,000 Satoshis, which would allow the price action to see, once again, up to 30% upside just with this chart alone, and we've been monitoring this for quite a while. This tends to be a very bullish pattern. Notice here how Ethereum 2.0, the London hard fork, was announced. We saw the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart rally up to this 82,000 Satoshi level. We came down to 55,000 Satoshis. We formed this lower high. That's a bullish pattern. We came down, formed a higher low. That's even more bullish. Another lower high, another higher low. At any point in time, this could push to the upside, right? Now, this is all going to depend on if Bitcoin's able to cross 35,000, because the confidence with Bitcoin crossing 35,000, in my opinion, will give confidence to Ethereum to go above 65,000 Satoshis and continue price discovery as we head into the London hard fork on August 4th, which is coming up in less than 3 weeks, right? So that's what I'm monitoring here. Even if we come down, we could form a lower low and we could still have a bullish pattern here. So it's not a big deal, in my opinion, regardless of if we go up or down here with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. And that's why I've been so bullish on altcoins, because if Ethereum to Bitcoin is going to lead other altcoins, the total cryptocurrency market cap, you can see, not ever coming below 1 trillion as we predicted, and now we're above the weekly and previous weekly open. This is showing strength. We could potentially even move up to 1.78 trillion as long as we stay above 1.3, and this right here could really garner opportunities for altcoins if Bitcoin stays moving to the side and others' dominance, clearly showing that it's a bullish trend with its weekly open here at the 200-day moving average, and we are above it now completely. This is the most bullish chart in the cryptocurrency market. We can also make the case of this extremely bullish pattern with the similarities of the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, and this could be a garden variety retest of a multi-year support level, which was previous resistance, to continue further up. And that would be a very strong thesis and a very plausible one, with the January being the start of altcoin season, the fear coming into the market, a garden variety retest to see continued upside later down the road. I think that's certainly on the table, and that's why we've been very bullish on altcoins. And we'll cover Bitcoin dominance quickly here. We are coming up above this 150-day moving average. We will be monitoring this. So one thing I am monitoring, as Bitcoin decides where it wants to go between $34,788 and that $31,800 level is what's happening to Bitcoin dominance. Because if we start to see this push to the upside, I wouldn't be surprised for us to come to this 200-day moving average, but specifically this 20-week moving average, which we're so close to. So this could be another puzzle piece that we're going to have to discuss on the Snipers channel soon if we start to have to assume that we're seeing a reversal in dominance for Bitcoin if we can get above home base, but we've yet to test it. So it's not on the table just yet. And with traditional markets opening up, futures at least, and institutions starting to place their bets, we have to keep in mind and not ignore the fact that our weekly open right now for the DXY is in a concerning range that can take us towards this 93.8 level. As long as we stay above 92.62, that's very much on the table. Seeing more upside here could bring traditional markets down. We'll have to monitor that as the week unfolds, but we will be seeing institutional bets being placed today with futures markets. And the gold to Bitcoin chart breaking down from this, testing this 50-day moving average. If we break below this monthly open, that's a very positive sign for Bitcoin. So we're going to want to monitor this because this is how we predicted the top for Bitcoin in April when we broke above the 50-day. Now, if we break below it, that could change the storyline here for gold against Bitcoin. So a lot of this is happening after the B-word event. That could have certainly been a catalyst, and I think that that has been the catalyst. So it's going to be interesting to see if Bitcoin is able to get above that $35,000 level, what that pressure and momentum is going to take us to. And with that, thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel on a Sunday. Remember to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you want to win Principles by Ray Dalio, comment below and you'll have a chance to win. I'll pick a winner from our video yesterday. Jobin Johnson says, thanks for keeping us focused on the facts rather than the hype. Hoping for more green days. You want a book? Send me a message on Instagram. I'll even pick a second winner. How about that? Abnoyi Kwaski says, dude, been so impressed with how you've kept going and kept us going while the going has been extremely tough. Send me a message on Instagram. You also want a book as long as you guys are in the US. If not, maybe I can give you guys another gift. And with that, thank you all for tuning in. I couldn't do this without you. And it's going to be interesting to see how the markets unfold tomorrow. Until next time, Snipers.